Greetings, everyone. This is Meredith Leon-McCormack for Worldwide Magazine. We have a special treat for you guys today. We are honoring and celebrating the love and marriage of Dr. King and Coretta Scott King, and we are so excited to have caught up with Kerry-Anne and Michael Gordon, the phenomenal couple that happened to get married, and a whole Black Lives Matter protest was going through it, and they came out to support, and now they're one of the most famous couples in the world. After, what is it, Harry and Meghan Markle now? You're running neck and neck with them.
Wow. Oh, goodness. Yeah.
You know, two couples, two power couples, activists, just here for the people and supporting good energy. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
How are you guys doing? Like, wow. Wow.
Well, we're saying wow too, okay? Because we were, outside of the moment we experienced together, we're looking at it now as wow, we've touched so many. We've been in so many conversations. People have been, looking at us in such a way with like a lot of hope. Things that we as regular people never anticipated, never planned for, but at the same time we are humbled by it and appreciated and happy that this is happening and that this is a part of this movement.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful.
It was overwhelming, to quite an extent. We've been obviously, just trying to get back to our regular lives. And
what regular life?
I mean, we've just been just locked back, back into the house, and we're not day to day out in the world. I'm working from home still, so I'm not going into the office or anything along those lines. So we generally just leave the house for food, gas, those kind of basic things. But outside of that, we're generally kind of, trying to get back to our regular lives.
Well,
yeah. I know. I'm thinking of a new regular now.
I know. That'll be some adjustment, but we'll see. It's all been all love and positive. So.
Yeah, you guys really had an impact in society. So when you look at that famous picture, guys, I'm going to show you the famous picture. When you look at it, did you ever imagine it would have that much of an impact on society?
Not really. Literally think that you get up in the morning, you go do something that you've been waiting to do for a long time. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the pandemic was the backdrop.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the other events, the protests, peaceful protests in that day in the city that were planned. And we're just like, what? We're getting married. One way or another, we're going to make this happen. Just as any other couple that love one another, are just trying to, get from point A to point B being married. So we were just trying to make it happen and ensure that all of our guests could get down there.
Right.
They didn't have any problems parking. We could get all the extra things that Kerry-Anne, she planned all of that herself, make sure that everything that was ordered and created to kind of help, enhance the ceremony for the guests and everyone, just to make sure that it all got down there with no issues or problems with it, which it did. Everything got down there. Every person got down there.
Wow.
We just want to get married. That is how we woke up. Like we want to get married. Not that this is going to be some, life-changing for us and that our union was going to be solidified, but not in that we would have an impact on the world.
Yeah. So when we look at that image now, we almost have two different perspectives on it. Mm-hmm. The first is what we felt at that moment, which was grand. It was so many different people from all walks of life who were so empowered by the vision of what they saw, what they knew, the symbolism of a marriage. And these people don't know us. They don't know us. They've never seen us before. But what they saw was hope for the future and love. And naturally, once you experience those things, any person around the world, you are going to be touched in a way that makes you want to stop like they did and surround it and get more of it. You start like yearning for more of that. And that's what really happened. So we experienced it through the energies of the people around. And then now, 8 days, 9 days later, we're looking at it and we're just like, wow, that's a powerful image.
Yep.
And so it's even more, it resonates more with us because we experienced it and we're seeing how that image portrays so much. You know, there's so much desire and there's so much change that we can see in that. You know, now when we're paying attention to the images a little bit more, you can look at the people in the background.
Yep.
You see their facial expressions, and people were vulnerable to this happening, right? To that moment. But they were there and they were present as if they were our own family members. Like they were invited, they were anticipating this. There was so much excitement in them. And so it's extremely powerful from every angle you can think of.
You literally gave me goosebumps when you said that. Literally, like my whole body, just something happened.
That's how I feel thinking about it.
I've never done an interview that everything just, it was like electricity just went through.
Yes. And that's how it felt.
We just walked off like that was amazing.
Yeah.
You know, how, like, what brought all of that energy and
Right.
love and goodwill together, but it just felt like the most amazing thing ever. And no one else even took note of it.
And let me tell you, looking at the pictures and some of the pictures, and I'm very excited to see the ones that you're going to send me. The people seem to have surrounded you both.
Yes.
You were in a middle.
Yes.
It was almost like a protective guard.
Yes.
For you guys. To me, that was the most tear-jerking thing, looking at that. And so for me, my question was, because of the long history and not necessarily positive in American history and Black history, the way they have treated Black bodies, Black women, Black men, Black families, which it impacts it. Why was that moment so important for you guys to even leave the protection of the hotel property to go outside to the crowd?
So, you know, I'll answer that from a couple of different things. So the protesters actually passed us. So that part is very significant for us because our hearts were already planning and hoping to be a part of a protest, but we already had our wedding ceremony scheduled at that time.
Right.
So when I experienced the protesters first, and as they noticed that I was standing there, they were just caught in awe. And so I literally was just so caught up in the moment, I wanted to get a picture with the protesters to say that even though we were not able to go and march the way that we really would support the movement, at least, even if it's just one picture with the protesters and the sign and the energy. I mean, when you hear the sounds, people were marching down the parkway and everyone was just like a large choir. They were just, you know, chanting things together and moving together, and the signs were moving together. And so people were almost like soldiers, and they were just going, and the energy was high. And so I just wanted to have that one glimpse in my memory, since I didn't have a phone on me, just to remember that. So for them to have stopped and take note from that, and from that moment to evolve into me feeling the power of it, and wanted to share that because I didn't want Mike to miss it. The feeling that I was feeling. And, you know, for me, it was just a matter of several different things. It was one, yes, I know our history. I know where we've come from as a people. I know our history in American history. I know the atrocities and things that we are and have been experiencing since the beginning of time. And so when I wrote my vows 5 months prior to this, and I addressed in the very, very, very first paragraph of my vows, the fact that this has been happening. And my wedding day was important to me because when I see Mike, I'm thinking about all the things that we've experienced as people and the images that has been out there of our people. And when I look at him, it just made me really proud to feel and see that he's such a great man and he's such a great representation as a Black man. And that's exactly how my vows were. And I see my vows, and at that moment, now that we're in the middle of a movement, I was really touched at heart because I know there's a dire need for change.
Right.
There is a huge need for the face of us to be different in the world.
Wow.
And so as I read through my vows, it really just, my heart was just so heavy.
Right.
And as I stood out there with the protesters, when I say that I felt release, I felt release from history. I felt release in the sense that there's so many people who are supporting love, supporting a Black couple. You know, we are 100% Black couple.
Right.
And that in and of itself is powerful. And for people who were from all walks of life supporting that, I felt such a release from my spirit. And it felt good. You know, it felt good. It felt like we were all one and united at that time. And so as I'm experiencing this is when I call for Mike, because I'm just like, my heart just couldn't keep it in anymore. So when you see those tears running down my eyes, it's the tears of history.
Right.
It's the tears
Wow.
of what is current right now that's happening all around us. And it's also the tears that represent the joy of us coming together as a union and hopefully, not hopefully, having a bright future and the excitement that comes with that.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm in tears. I don't know what to say. It's just beautiful, and just how, as turmoilous as the world is right now, there was so much love at that moment. You know, the world stopped just for that moment, as you guys reminded us how powerful love is. And love literally can unite the world under all circumstances. And
that's what happened. That was a moment of unity throughout the world.
Absolutely.
Everyone who stopped and watched. I mean, we have people who are just saying that I watched this 8 times and I was moved every single time. It has not gotten, boring to them. And so that's what happened in the entire world in a split moment of time.
Right.
Everyone stopped and thought and felt about love and unity.
And I think everyone didn't just stop that day. I'm curious to know how many times your picture has been shared since then. You know what I'm saying? It's on so many platforms from around the world. Of people showing that, it was fascinating to me. And so for me, it showed that marriage and love transcends all problems.
Yeah. Everyone can relate to that. Everyone, it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. That's not, there's no race, color, creed, or age. Everyone can relate to that. Everybody understands that moment, that emotion is a common thread that everyone can relate to. So I think a lot of the things that oftentimes maybe not just put out there, but people's perception of issues and things that are going on may be things that they can't necessarily relate to.
Right.
But that photo, that moment was something that everyone could relate to.
Absolutely.
I mean, and it cut right through whatever differences or opinions or thoughts that various individuals from regardless of where you are may have had. And it's just like, wow, like that is like I understand that. I know what that means.
Right.
That has meaning to me. And like I said, we're still just trying to wrap our minds around all of it really, and trying to find ways to put words to not just the moment, but how so many people seem to have taken so much from it, from something that seemed to just, it was a sporadic thing for us, that wasn't planned or thought out the word.
But I can tell you from a journalist perspective that, and just from people that's, someone that's been trying for 21 years of the conception of the magazine, that we've been trying to convey to people that Black love exists, Black marriages exist, Black brides exist, you know, and it was hard to convey it. I think you just made our jobs easier. You know, we're just going from now on, we're using your picture on every presentation. Black people don't get married? Here you go. You know, we're just gonna do that from now on. And it showed people from around the world that Black love and Black marriage really does exist. And I think I want to say, for anybody that wanted to ask the question, what do you guys mean by Black Lives Matter? At that moment, you two individuals represented that. If you didn't know, it became humane. You represent now the family structure, what these people were protesting for, you know,
Right.
from a human perspective, you know. So somebody's father, somebody's husband, somebody's wife was murdered. This is what, you know. So that's the only comment I'm gonna make about that. But you humanized it. You just made everything easy for us, you know, in the bridal industry right now. I'm using your picture on everything. You know? Just PSA, that's done. Now to a lighter things. Please tell us first, what are each of your occupations?
Okay, so I'm an OBGYN physician.
Oh my goodness, she's smart too, gorgeous and smart.
I'm an engineer.
Okay, it's over. The power couple has arrived. Meghan Markle and Harry, you need another couple to go along with you? No, that's amazing. So how did you guys both meet?
We met in the gym. We're both very physically active people. You know, I loved exercise. Kerry loved exercise. So independent of one another, you know, we both do that. And, you know, so we were both living in the gym basically at the same, as for most of our adult lives. I know I've been working out since I was in the service, and that was from teenage years. Before that, high school, you know, running track, you know, I've always been jumping around. So that's where we came into contact with each other first. And this wasn't like me walking up to her like, hey, how you doing? Kind of thing. We had a similar circle of friends, you know, says she's Jamaican, my family's all Jamaican. So we had a similar circle of people that we knew before we even knew each other. You know, once we started dating and we would go out places, we would bump into people and we both know, and we're like, oh, you know her, you know him. It's like we literally knew like a lot of the same people. So I guess from that perspective, it was just kind of inevitable that we kind of would at least meet and, you know, be friends in some form or fashion.
Wow, that's so amazing. So you answered 3 of my questions in that, you know, Jamaican, you know, what is it? You speak patois, so you know, you understand it. You have great food, great music, you know. So
that helps out too. That definitely helps. So when we, you know, initially started dating, you know, you're with your West Indian background, you know, that there's many islands, but you know there are, you know, differences between the islands, and
absolutely,
and also just, you know, if you're, you know, an African American and you're from somewhere like in the West Indies or somewhere else, like there are cultural differences, you know, that are real and, you know, have to be bridged, you know, and that can work in a various number of ways. But with us, it was never an issue. I remember the first time Kerry came to a barbecue at my aunt's house. It was for a holiday in the summer, and it was just, you know, I mean, she, you know, understands, she knows what they're saying, she knows what they're eating, you know, she understands everything that's happening and going on, you know. And the same thing when I'm around her family, like I know what they're saying, I know the music, I know what they're eating, so I know what I'm being offered. You know, when you go to someone else's home from a different culture for the first time and they put a plate of food in front of you and you've never seen it before,
you're like,
you're kind of eating with a small fork, you eating knowing that you're hungry. You know, we never had that problem. So it honestly has helped out so much from day one till, you know, now, like, you know, with our engagement, you know, the families cook food. I was going to get it catered so that no one had to do anything. And the family just chipped in and said, you know, hey, we can cook food. And we were all thinking from the same mental, menu of what it is that we were going to make for the day. So it just makes things so much easier.
Oh my goodness.
That we both have the same cultural backgrounds.
And it's pretty hard to make a Caribbean family not cook for any occasion, because that's how they express their love for you.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's not about, hey, we don't have the money. No, it's because they're like, we want to show you how much we love you and care for you and want to protect you.
Exactly.
Which is, when we think about our wedding, certain things that, say, for instance, people have asked, do you have a registry? We never really had one, because the way we support each other is to show up and be present.
Ooh.
And to do those small things like, cook you a meal, cook you a cake, or, do something that connects you with who we are as a people.
Culture.
So, we responded to them and said, we didn't want a registry. We wanted love and people and our family is to have a great time. That was the goal.
Yeah, we still don't have a registry.
I'm sure something's going to happen.
Oh, people have asked, but we literally still don't have a registry. Last week we've been like, how do we put a registry together?
No, we're not going to do that. That was never the intent. The only thing we had was just like a honey fund, just in case people insisted. But that was it. You're staying right by that.
Yeah.
That's so amazing. Okay, so one thing I do have to say to you, do not stop your blessing. If people want to bless you, please receive it, because if you stop them from blessing you, then you stop me from getting blessed too. Because the scriptures tell us there's more happiness in giving than in receiving. And you've given the world such a strong message of love. And it's not that you need anything monetary, because God knows y'all guys have great jobs. But people want to bless you. So think about that.
And so that's what we've thought of, that we have opened up at least to say, well, here's our honey fund. If you want to share something, but we didn't want to create a registry now to say, okay, here are gifts that we would like,
because we understand that point, we definitely understand that point very well, but there's also the perception side of it, in that we didn't plan any of this. There was no, this isn't a money grab from us, and we don't want, even though we don't want to kind of push people away in that regard.
Right.
We also don't want a negative connotation to come.
Right.
If somebody thinks like, oh, they staged this, they did something to kind of like.
They're gonna think what they want.
They are. They really are. But we just kind of wanted to.
We want to kind of be clear with that.
Exactly.
And so our honey fund was there prior to all of this, and So we just said, well,
what is a honey fund? Can you explain it?
It's like an online money gifting platform. Mm-hmm. So you can go in there. We have some preset amounts set up, like if you want to give an amount of X, Y, or Z, or if you want to give a whatever amount.
If you wanted to give $5,
and some people give like $10. So we're not here to tell you what is a
which nobody does or should.
Exactly. So it's just like whatever you do out of the goodness of your heart is whatever.
Exactly. Well, I'm going to speak to my audience. Audience, if you want to donate to this fabulous couple that's probably going to do more things with it for other people, please feel free to give. That's all I'm saying. That's my PSA. If you want to donate, I'm going to make sure you can donate for them. You guys are well off. You're fine. You're doctors, engineer. You don't need anybody's anything. You did this before. And every couple gets gifted in this way. You shouldn't be denied it because yours happened to get famous through no fault of your own. I'm putting it
basically. That pretty much summed it up right there.
That's it. Every couple gets it. Why should you be denied? But it is what it is. So, which leads me to the question, what does family mean to you? What does the term family mean to you?
Family means to me a unit. For you to be a part of a unit, you belong. Okay, so it's not by chance. Okay, it means that you have history together, whether good and bad. It means that you share a part of like genetics, but it doesn't necessarily mean genetics. Okay, so you can have family who are not necessarily born and bred into your family, but they resemble and they embolize the values of family, so they become a part of that unit. It means a place where love abounds. Okay, like when you are angry at your loved one, whether it's a mother, a father, sister, cousin, it's the love that will calm that down and bring you back into one union in this unit. And so it's really the center of that unit. And lastly, family means that there is a future. Okay, there is no family that just ends right there. Okay, I don't think one person in the world can think of where an entire family is wiped out. It's almost impossible for that to happen, right? Because it extends sometimes so beyond an immediate unit like Mike and I are now. So family that's what I would say if I had to pick a few adjectives. That's what that means to me.
Yeah, I think the family are really the people that really kind of, besides, for people who are directly blood related to you, the people who help make you who you are, who made to help you. Both of us, Kerry-Anne has come, a very far way, and she's done it all on her own. Trust me, the story of how she got herself from, square one, out of high school to where she is now is nothing short of amazing, and, just amazes me of how she did so much literally by herself, just with grit and determination. And, all of us West Indians, I'm a first generation West Indian here. So my parents came here young, they didn't know America, how this place works, so they couldn't give me that guidance from that perspective.
Right.
They could give me as the love and provide me with the foundation from an educational standpoint,
right,
to kind of give me the opportunity to move forward. So it's now, instead of, those behind me starting from the same point that I start from, they're starting from a much higher point. They now start from my shoulders to move forward, so now those after us are at a better place. That's how family supports. They didn't have to buy me all the clothes, or, they didn't have money for all of those things when I was growing up, but they gave me what I needed.
Opportunity.
They gave us and we had the opportunity, and it was up to us to take advantage of it. And we have to get us here. So that family is all of those people all along the way who have helped to get us, where we are right now. People, you'll hear them say, oh, I got myself here all by myself. It's like, no, you didn't. No one, I don't care who you are, you wouldn't be anywhere near where you are if somebody didn't give you a chance.
Absolutely.
Someone has to give you a chance, before you can actually take advantage of it and become more. And those experiences are what give you that feeling of family, people that are looking out for you, people that are on your side, the people that will give you a helping hand when you need it, so that when you get somewhere, then you can look back and give that understanding to those behind you who are asking for it. Because you got to your point about blessings, you just have to pass that along. You can't hold that. You have to pass it along. I think all that energy and, family and love in life is it's like a boomerang. Life, we live in a fishbowl. The energy you put out, that's what's going to bounce right back to you. So you keep that good going out, and it will keep coming back to you via, family, friends that act like family,
right?
Random people who just, get a good vibe off of you, and are like, you know what, I kind of like this guy, or kind of like this lady. I'm with this person. I like what they're about. You know what I mean?
Do you have any last minute message that you want to give to our readers that are planning their wedding? Well, let me ask you, did you guys have any challenges planning your wedding before?
Well, you're talking to the wedding planner right here. So she not only planned our formal wedding that has not happened yet. So we've postponed that, obviously, due to,
the COVID
pandemic ongoing to 2021. We didn't have a wedding planner. Kerry-Anne did that herself.
Wow.
So when that day comes, and those pictures come, and that video comes, know that is all Kerry-Anne's vision.
Wow.
Okay? I will not take, but she will tell you I came kicking and screaming to most of those conversations.
Why No.
So that's what she will tell you.
Those were different challenges. Okay.
This wedding, which was basically planned in just a little over 2 weeks, barely, is all Kerry-Anne's vision. So any pictures you've seen from that day were her vision. Until the comments that we just made about, kind of like family and love and people looking out for you.
Right.
A lot of people to look out for us because a lot of things are still closed, unavailable.
Right. Exactly.
Her getting dressed, me having to go like rent a tux quickly, like. Her tux, her formal dress is still in another country. My tux is in another part of the United States, sitting there nice and custom
You guys
in the
had
wall.
to do this all in 2 weeks' time?
All in 2 weeks.
Every single person that worked with us were new. Okay, these people were contacted probably now 3 weeks ago to be involved in an event in the middle of a pandemic and a revolution.
Yes.
All of this is happening at the same time. And there were a lot of no's. Really? And for every person that said yes, I was so grateful. Okay. Because, yes, I'll do your makeup. Yes, I'll do your hair. But there were a long list of no's. Wow. And the greatest, the part that meant I don't want to say the most, because every part of it was special, but I couldn't find someone to do my nails. And I mean, I spoke to so many people like, I can stretch my arms as far as I can get them. It might not be 6 feet, but I can stretch them out. But people just said no. Right. And as much as the protest had a lot of stores in the city were closing early, and I'm still working, out there, so like full time, and I'm not getting home before the stores close, so I can't get to the stores at all. We're ordering things on Amazon, they're delayed. We're ordering things through USPS, delayed. And so I couldn't even buy nails on Amazon because they wouldn't come in time. Nope. Right. Our deliveries just wouldn't. We had a stack of things here that showed up after our wedding that was supposed to be for our wedding because there was so much of a delay. Yeah. So there were a lot of it, but everyone who decided to be a part of this did something special. And I think for them, it was also a moment to shine again because everyone is hoping to go back to normalcy, like things they were able to do before and they couldn't. So everyone was excited for this one moment to be able to do this since they've been away from their loves for so long. You're going on 2-3 months for some people that they haven't been out to do anything.
I know.
So that was one thing. And so, but people did things like the person who made my dress. I was telling her that I just couldn't find anyone to do my nails. And the day before the wedding, she was just like, you know what, I'm going out to Walmart and I'm going to shop for some nails for you. And this is after I met her in her house because we had a storm the day before that took out the power to her boutique. And she knew that this was a very short, timing turnaround when it comes to my dress. She's just like, you can meet me in my house and I'll take care of you. And the next morning she got up early and got to Walmart and bought me some stick-on nails.
What?
And I'm at work and I'm just like, Michelle, do whatever, pick whatever you think will work. But I mean, these were the acts of love.
It's an act of love.
Yes, that people did.
The blessings.
Have to. Yes. And I mean, it was along the entire way. Everyone who said yes came out and went above what they needed to do, just to share it or love, Right. And so I was just amazed, really, every single person on every level just showed so much love. And just internally, it was just that representation of what we need more of, It shouldn't take a pandemic and it shouldn't take a protest for us to go back to the core of what we need as human beings, which is love. I'm glad it did, but hopefully this means that this is going to become more of our regular lifestyle. We're going to show love more. We're going to show the power of love more. We're going to be involved in love more and not so much, what I feel like has been not such a healthy trend in our history and in our world right now.
Yeah, because I think we were moving way too fast that we lost the sight of living.
Yes, the meaning of life. Yes.
People just being human, being good to your neighbor. You know what I mean?
I think you guys remind us all of it, that it's not business as usual, you
Right.
know. So somebody custom made that dress for you
Yeah.
2 weeks before the wedding?
So it was a partial custom.
Okay.
So the entire upper half was redone,
Okay.
based on my vision and what I wanted.
You look
But
amazing.
she did it within days,
Oh, you look amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. It just came together so nicely. I had never tried on a bridal gown prior to that time that I met that lady in that boutique.
What?
When I bought my dress from internationally from Russia, I saw the dress and I envisioned it and I said that was my dress, and I ordered it a year ago. And so I never tried on a gown. I didn't know what style gown I wanted.
What?
Okay. So I went into her boutique one night. She opened up her shop and she said, "Come on in. We should be able to find something for your size." And we just went through her racks. We picked out a dozen dresses, and that dress was the fourth one I tried on. And when I stepped into it, I felt the first moment when brides say they knew when they had their dress.
Right.
It was the first time I had that moment. I was just like, I feel like a bride. And it was very different from what I even thought I was going to wear, but I felt amazing in it.
You
And
look stunning.
thank you. But everyone just did such an amazing job. The gown, the robe that you saw on the Vogue article,
Right.
my aunt made that in less than a week. I
Wow.
called my aunt and I said, Mike and I are going to tie the knot next week. Would you be able to make a robe? And I said to her, I want this robe to last some time. I want to wear this robe for whenever we have a family. I want to wear this robe when I get old. And she really sat down, and in a matter of days, there was a robe. And my family saw it before I did. And I mean, it's love. And this is what we're talking about, family and a unit. I made a call and no measurements were sent to her. And so she just envisioned what she knew. And she's just like, I create something special for you, and delivered it. And I got it that morning of our wedding. And so it's so many different levels, it was just the most beautiful thing.
So much. This is emotionally. It's amazing.
It is. It's absolutely amazing. I've never
I'm like,
felt so much.
So many random things had to happen to make that moment possible to even occur, that it is that is not a replicable feat. We cannot replicate any of that, any of this story. As that occurred, that is just in our minds for our history books, because there's all of these things, and there's numerous other little small details about this, that, and third, that went into the events, and how it happened, how I got my tux. I mean, there's like
the entire story.
Everything.
Like if you were to break down every single step and every day since the time we made the decision, I'm telling you, it was just, I say there's something above us that took place there. This was not of us, because we saw something special evolving from the very first second that we decided to do this on that day. And we were looking at each other every single day. This was our conversation, like, wow, that's unusual. Like, this has never happened before. Why is this happening? Right. When I tell you, Mike and I had that conversation every single day, that we were just like, we don't know why this is happening. It was just like miracles. It was literally the best week.
Every day I was like, you have a light shining on you.
That's what he said to me every single day.
Usually she has a cloud over her head, but that week, every single day, I'm like, there is a light shining on you. Yeah. Every day it's like, oh, this can't possibly happen again. And then the next day we're having the same conversation.
Something else is happening.
How does this still happen? Like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It was there. It was just an amazing week. It wasn't that day. It was the week leading up to that.
7 whole days. Yeah. Literally, it was 7 whole days of amazingness. And then on that last day, it was just, and so we're still soaking it in, like I said, I see.
And when you guys decide to have children, you have beautiful stories surrounding your wedding to tell your children.
You have some stories, all right.
Yeah, you really do. This is powerful, and it gives us hope in this dark time. And I think everybody of all races will see the light, you know, and see that it is possible. Anything is possible through love, you know.
Yeah.
Like they say, the scripture says, love never fails, period.
Yeah.
That's true.
No other words needed. Love never fails. And that's what I really want to push to the world, that as we are, you know, still moving together, right? This movement together, to really just make love be the center of that, and unity. And so if we all just unite our hearts and our minds and our thoughts and our beings, we can get change. It will happen, but it can't just end now. Like when the movement ends, it really shouldn't end. There should be constant, because these values are needed in our society, and we should always push that to be at the top of the pedestal all the time.
So beautiful, so eloquent. Yeah, write your book and let me know when it's for sale, okay? The love story. Okay. So what's going on with the honeymoon? Are you guys going on a honeymoon when? Next year, right?
No, we have a little bit together for later on this summer.
Okay.
We have to see how, but we're still,
trying to figure out
how it's going to work, and the Caribbean is starting to open back up, but there's like a lot of different constraints around that. So we're really trying to look at that and see what that's going to be when it's time for us to go down there, because we don't want to have a weirded out
it's
getaway kind of thing. It's like it'll be weird, so we're really trying to
no rush.
Right. So right now we're just thinking if we can just go back home and just spend a couple of days and relax until the world really just opens up and goes back to us being able to congregate comfortably, and then we can really have our honeymoon. So just like anything else, the honeymoon can wait. We didn't want us to wait. We canceled trips already, and we just like calling airline like we gotta cancel, and nobody wants that,
Right.
So at least right now, that's the only thing that we're hoping that will happen. So just go home and eat some food and soak up some sun. Even if we don't see family.
More family love,
Yes.
Surrounded by love.
Yes. Whatever we can, from our culture, we figured that's the first place we want to go when things open. Let's just go home,
Wow.
Roots and just enjoy our moment for right now. And then we can, go back to exploring the world after we can. Yes.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for this moment, the conversation. We're going to keep up with you. If you ever need anything, World Bride Magazine would be honored to be of assistance to you in any which way you need it. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being the symbol of love for us right now, where everything seems so dark.
Thank you so much. Very, very humbled. And there's definitely going to be a Gordon future ahead. We don't know what that means exactly, but we really appreciate the love that we've received as well.
And every publication is, and I think I found more today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute. Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure there's a lot we don't know about.
Oh, absolutely.
There is.
We were getting tagged in things from like all over the world in languages that we can't even understand, or we can't even figure out what the language is to figure out where it's at. So it's definitely in some places.
Yeah, it's global. And let me tell you, it's global, but at the same time, it's so local. One of my contributing editors, her cousin lives in Philly. It's in Philly.
Yes.
Took a video of your wedding and sent it to me.
Really?
Up from the top, and I'm like, how did he get this? Oh, he was there. I was like, what? How? What are the chances that everybody's connected to your wedding? Forget it.
Wow.
So thank you so much. You are our celebrity wedding couple of the year. I think of the century, period. Nobody can top this. I don't care who they are or what they're doing. No one can top this. No one in our book. It's done. So please enjoy the rest of your days. And we look forward to hearing so much wonderful things about you guys.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. And like we mentioned before, we sent you information about our photographer.
Mm-hmm.
So you can either, I would say you can, speak with her first.
Oh, yeah.
And
all of those wonderful details.
Yes, and see what you get. And then we'll send you a couple of additional ones as well.
I would love that. I'm excited. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
So everyone, this is the Gordons, okay? So thank you for tuning in. Please enjoy life, love, and peace. Ciao, Bella.